been asked to speak on behalf of the faculty as a whole, but I especially wish to speak for the history department. Those of us who've worked so closely with Terry for so long, Gary, Paul, Joel, Angie, and myself. I guess the best way to describe what it's been like to work with Terry for so long, and to have him as a colleague and as a department chair, is to tell you about the day I met him. It was the late June 2001, and Terry was conducting screening interviews for an opening in the history department. Terry went through my resume with me, asked me all the usual questions. He answered several questions I had about the BT curriculum. And then he proceeded to go through a 10-day schedule at BT. And a typical day. I have to tell you that my head was spinning, trying to figure out how anything that looked like that could be called typical. But I was even more confused because he kept using these words, davening and mincha. And I finally had to say, "Excuse me, sir. I don't know those words." And I honestly have to tell you that he looked at me as if I'd grown a second head. And he said, "Well, my dear, that's morning and afternoon prayers." It's as though he meant to add, "Of course," but he was too polite to do so. And that's when I kind of got the idea that this giant, gray-haired Episcopalian was introducing me into a very special club. A Jewish community for non-Jews where we're totally welcomed and cherished for our own talents, our own individualism, while at the same time our personal beliefs would be fully respected. And every day, for the 10 years I worked with him, Terry modeled this very dual nature of being here at Beth Tfiloh as a non-Jewish teacher. And it was his example that helped me learn to navigate the sometimes difficult waters that I encountered working in this different culture. The other thing that Terry helped me discover was how lucky I was to be at BT, to be surrounded by people of faith who live their beliefs every single day. And he did this by demonstrating his profoundly deep respect for the BT family. And his example has been a shining light for everyone in our department. But first and foremost, Terry has been, for all of us, a consummate professional educator, believing in old school, tried and true methods, but also setting the absolute highest standards for his students. And he expected every one of us in the department to do the same. But another gift that Terry gave to each one of us was that he had complete trust in our abilities and our passion as teachers. And he let us fulfill our sacred mission as teachers in our own unique way. He was always there to help us if we needed him with articles and blurb sheets or other ideas for making history come alive. But he respected each one of us to teach just like he did as a high professional. He never micromanaged us. He was our coach, our mentor, our cheerleader, and our biggest fan. More than anything else, Terry was our friend. He laughed with us, and he made us laugh. Let me give you an example. Terry had a green chair in the office. Now, that chair was probably here before the building. That chair fell apart so many times that last fall I actually threatened to throw it out. He had used super glue, Gorilla Glue, duct tape, nails, bolts, washers, and I don't even know what else to try to hold that chair together. We'd come in, there would be books stacked on it with signs, "Do not touch," where he had tried to mend it. I finally said to him, "Terry, the next time I'm in here on a Sunday to do an SAT, that chair is going to disappear." Terry looked at me with an expression that I'm sure a lot of his students would recognize. And he very solemnly said, "My dear, I am very fond of you, but do not, I repeat, do not do that." Needless to say, the chair went untouched. And then miraculously, all of us in the department came back right after winter break, and lo and behold, the chair was gone, and in its place was the spanking new black leather executive chair. It seems that Terry's beloved family had heard as many stories about the busted chair as we had witnessed, and they had taken it into their own hands and bought Terry a new chair for Christmas. And that's a witness to another side of Terry. As soon as his family decided it was time for a new chair, that was it. Because where Terry was concerned, there was nothing like his family. If they said the sun rose in the west, well, that was it, the sun rose in the west. They were the most important thing to him. As much as he loved all of us, we were a distant second. Anne, Mark, Katie, Adam, let me tell you though, we all wanted to send you a big thank you note after that chair disappeared. But alas, the beautiful new chair has now been retired from the history department far too soon. Like every true friend, Terry could make you mad. As someone said last week, the very things that were so endearing about Terry could drive you crazy. That is so true. There were times when I wanted him to try something new, and I would show him in every possible way how wonderful this would be, and how great it would be for his classroom or record keeping, and how he'd be so happy with it. And he would listen ever so politely and nod his head, and then go back to doing exactly what he had always done. This was especially true where technology was concerned. I would get so steamed at him sometimes that I literally wanted to toss him out the window. Wait a minute, there's a word for that. Come on, you know it.
Defenestrate.
Defenestrate, thank you. One of his favorites. A couple years ago, when I moved to my position as Director of Student Life, Terry was the very first person to congratulate me and offer his total support, even though it meant that I wouldn't be teaching as many classes for him as I had in the past. As a matter of fact, he even offered to defenestrate any miscreants for infractions ranging from lateness to dress code. Even I thought that was a little too harsh. Like every good friend, Terry cried with us too. My very first month at BT, we cried together on 9/11. I'd only known him for 3 weeks at that point, but it was a day I'll never forget, sitting in that office with him. Over the years, we've shared personal and professional losses. Most recently, we mourned the loss of our dear students, Daniel and Stephanie. Terry was always a friend in times of trouble. He was that kind of man, dependable, strong, caring. I'm glad Julie shared some of the thoughts about the things that alumni have said. I received a letter from one of my students, and I want to just share one little thing that he said. I wish to express my gratitude to Dr. Chase for allowing me to be a part of his world. His obvious love and passion for history was initially what led me down that path as well. Presumably, we study history to learn from it to make a better world for the future. And I think we have a great shot because Dr. Chase taught so many people our future will be a little less bleak. I will always remember him as a great man, a great mind, and a great friend. And just today, one of our alums stopped in my office. She's still in college, and she said, you know, I'm studying history in college because of Dr. Chase. He's the one who turned me around as a student, and I was so looking forward to coming back once I graduated with my history degree, just to tell him, you're the reason that I have this degree in history. We all have different reasons for going into teaching. He's the kind of teacher we all aspire to be. His was truly a life well lived. Terry, I will so miss hearing Mrs. Allen as you come around the corner towards my office every day. I will never